Hang on, I'm just,
Okay.
oh, I see recent activity. These are some, so I can read this later. I can look at some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, but within this weaponization committee, they have released documents that demonstrate that the government was targeting individuals. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That answers that question.
I'm one of those individuals that was targeted.
Yeah. Okay. So that was okay. So that's actually a question.
Now I
I
come
said,
after you.
yeah. Okay. So wait. I'm sorry. I'm looking at. I had that question. So you were targeted for censorship. Okay. So how did you get put on this list?
Which list of the
Well, okay.
many?
Well, yeah, okay, okay. So that's another question I had later was there's a ton of these agencies that spy on Americans. I have Quiet Skies, TSA, Stanford Intelligence or Internet Observatory with the NSF, Foreign Influence Task Force, FBI, Crossfire Hurricane, FBI, FISA, COINTELPRO, from the FBI, and the Patriot Act. Are there even more of these organizations that spy on Americans? Like, is there even more that I don't know about? And how do you get put on their lists?
You got to be a political opponent that poses a threat to them.
So
That's
okay,
how you get on the list.
so essentially you get on the list by politics. That's what I'm worried about. And that's why I think there might be other Americans that maybe are lower level, but have been involved in politics that are on these lists. And they should be able to sue the government if they're getting put on lists as enemy.
All right. So, all right, let's start with Quiet Skies.
Okay.
Go to the internet and type Quiet Skies DHS OIG report.
Quiet Skies, DHS. What'd you say? O
IG.
OIG report.
Um, yeah,
This
perfect.
one? Okay.
TSA needs to improve management of the Quiet Skies program. Let's go ahead and hold that tab, go to a
Okay.
new tab, and then click on Boston Globe video Quiet Skies. Let's go ahead and play that.
Okay. I don't know if there will actually be sound on the recording. Zoom is sometimes funky about playing other people's recordings.
When you take a domestic flight, are you being followed by a team of armed, undercover air marshals? If you've recently flown into the U.S. from certain foreign countries, you may be, even if you're a U.S. citizen and not on a terror watch list, even if you've never been suspected of a crime. A Globe investigation into a secret government program called Quiet Skies reveals that the Transportation Security Administration is putting air marshals on planes to surveil thousands of ordinary Americans. Under the Quiet Skies program, air marshals follow and collect extensive amounts of information on some citizens and send that information to the TSA. The rules for selecting passengers for surveillance are broad. Documents obtained by the Globe show that air marshals are following citizens on domestic flights to or from cities like Boston and Washington, D.C., New York, and Seattle. They take note of whether travelers use a phone, go to the bathroom, chat with others, or change their clothes. They report on whether passengers eat, fidget, or have what they call a cold, penetrating stare. While air marshals typically have assisted the FBI and surveilled people on a terrorist watch list, Quiet Skies casts a wider net. Sources told the Globe that surveillance targets have included flight attendants on duty, a young business executive, and, in at least one case, another federal law enforcement officer. Anyone who flies into the U.S. is pre-screened for the program. Documents show about 30 people on domestic flights are monitored each day. Thousands have been surveilled. The program has little external oversight. Critics, and some air marshals, say it may be unconstitutional. And travelers are not notified if they're being monitored by a team of air marshals. So, are you being surveilled? The next time you take a domestic flight, you just might be.
Yeah, so I mean,
All right.
that's clear. That's clearly not constitutional. Like that's going to be
Right.
inappropriate. That's going to
Let's
be
go ahead. Since we're on this subject, can you go to the internet again and just go ahead and do a search? Put in Stu Peters, TSA, Green Beret, communism.
Stu Peters, TSA, Green Beret, communism.
Yeah, let's see if it comes up. No, not that one.
Stu Peters, 5 things to know.
Yeah, click on there we go.
Go
to my Ivan Raiklin X right there.
Okay.
Let's play that. See if there's a video up top. There.
Okay.
Yeah. Click on that.
Play this. Okay.
When I started on this diet, I weighed 255. Today, I weigh 140.
Yeah.
Hey, 99%
I think this is a commercial as well, right? Yeah.
Well, the TSA and the Department of Homeland Security were both created to protect ordinary Americans like you from foreign threats. But American progressives see you as the biggest threat of all, so they've, of course, weaponized both of those institutions against ordinary American patriots. Ivan Raiklin is a former Green Beret commander. He's an attorney who's argued that deliberate and systematic constitutional violations occurred in the 2020 election. He's also campaigned against the perpetual masking of children and a lot of other insanity going on right now. All of that is legal and entirely within his rights as an American. But Raiklin has been punished by being put on every list that you can imagine. He recently had a remarkable experience. I saw it in Telegram, just trying to fly through D.C. and Boston for a speech in New Hampshire. He was pulled aside to be screened repeatedly when there is zero reason to believe that he poses any threat of unlawful physical violence or any person, property, or equipment damage on any airplane. Doesn't matter. He's being targeted for his ideas, which the government has decided is a threat worthy of routine harassment. And Ivan Raiklin joins us now. Ivan, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Stu.
So essentially, they're putting anybody on for no reason just because you're a political opponent.
I can explain how that process worked. I think I've been able to reverse engineer exactly who in the government created this process under its current form.
Okay.
And for details on what that looks like, that OIG report goes into details. And as I discussed this, if you can go to the report and go to like the back, I think maybe the last few pages, it goes to what they actually do to you when you're placed on the Quiet Skies program. So here's how it worked.
Okay.
Benny Thompson, who chaired in the 117th Congress, the last one, the Homeland Security Committee, which was later appointed as Mike Pence's beloved Liz Cheney and Nancy Pelosi's beloved Benny Thompson's January 6th Cover-Up Committee is the full title, right? The Fedsurrection Cover-Up and the Insurrection Promotion Committee, headed up by Benny Thompson. Remember, he's dual-headed as the J6 Cover-Up Committee chair and the Homeland Security chairman. So as the chair of the Homeland Security Committee, he gets to decide the funding allocation, right, to the Homeland Security Department. As the chair, he has an outsized role, and he has the outsized role of providing oversight over the Secretary of Homeland Security. So what does he do instead? In order to perpetuate the insurrection narrative and to cover up for the Fedsurrection narrative that I am exposing, probably one of the biggest thought leaders in the country exposing that, to include Benny's role, he puts out a memo to Ali Mayorkas, basically saying, I'll summarize it. Go ahead after the people that I'm about to send to you and basically try to put them on this Quiet Skies program so that we can find enough dirt on them to then prosecute them, along with the other manipulated evidence that we have created from the CCTV footage of January 6th, as well as the sworn manipulated testimony of U.S. police officers, to then weaponize against anybody within the vicinity of inside the Capitol, vicinity of the Capitol, or in Washington, D.C. And then they present that over to the FBI to go ahead and create the lists of what they are targeting. And by the way, David Buckley, one of the 51 spies who lied, is Benny Thompson's staff director, helping in creating their target list.
Right.
I'm using their precedent. Now I'm targeting them as a target list of who we go after.
I mean, people should be able to sue them. So one question is, like,
how do you sue them when the jury pool doesn't believe a single word that you and I say right now, because they duped the jury pool, meaning America, through the censorship industrial complex? That's why X is so important. Truth Social, Telegram, Rumble. We are now reversing the manipulation. That's why I'm all in getting our First Amendment back. Once we get that set in place, now we can create that. Like, by the time we get into the courtroom, the jury pool's like, let's go, man. Conviction, 100%.
Yeah. So the only way
to finish off with the Quiet Skies program, yes, Benny Thompson sends over to Ali Mayorkas to say, hey, go after these people. And I had to be on that list. And then I was placed on it for 21 months. They surveilled me on every flight. I identified some of the not the Secret Service, the Federal Air Marshals. I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? There's only 2 of you. There's supposed to be 3, according to the DOJ or the DHS IG report.
Do they wear?
Can you imagine? It's like, no, they're undercover. They're supposed to be clandestine. I'm like, dude, I'm picking them out. Like, hey, bro, I know what's going on here. I have way more training than you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, what part of Green Beret, retired lieutenant colonel, or at the time I was still in the reserves, what part of Green Beret colonel and constitutional lawyer did you miss in your like research of me? Of course, I'm going to know exactly who you are. Like, I don't have counter surveillance or counterintelligence training.
Well, it's shocking. I mean, it's shocking that they would surveil patriots. Like, again, like clear American.
Yeah. So imagine this: a dozen TSA agents from security checkpoint to onboarding at the gate, 3 federal air marshals. Think about the massive wasted resources deployed on me to target me politically with the sole purpose of finding something on me so that they could criminalize me. That's it, right?
Yes.
Because the digital, what they looked at all my Apple holdings, my Google holdings, my Facebook holdings, my PayPal. I have receipts of all of it because those companies at the end of their investigation sent me a note saying, FBI, this case file was looking into your everything. Imagine, like, look at the average citizen. Do you think that the average citizen could clear scrutiny if all of their digital holdings were scrutinized?
No, not at all. And
they'll find something, right?
Yeah. Yes. That's what I worry about.
Guess what they found on me?
Nothing.
4 middle fingers up their ass. That's what they found. Okay.
Well, wait. So wait, are you saying that Quiet Skies, it's not just about surveilling people on an airplane? They actually look at all your electronic communications and files. Is that correct?
No. Don't get me wrong. The Quiet Skies program is exactly what it's depicted in the DHS IG report, which is surveillance from home to airport, in airport, checkpoint, at gate, in airplane, once you land, when you exit the airport to your destination. That's the whole gamut of it, the jurisdictional component. The digital surveillance that I just referenced, that's related to Nancy Pelosi, Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi's directed Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson and David Buckley and Jamie Ratskin working that J6 committee to go after anybody that they think is affiliated close enough to Trump that could potentially come back into office to hold them to account. They're going to go ahead and go after it. And so how do they do that? They create this false predicate. Like, what happens to me is exactly what they did to General Flynn, to Trump. It's the same exact thing. I'm just like, I'm nobody, right? But I'm somebody because I know the system and I know exactly everybody that was involved in this. So now I'm a threat to them. Okay. So they went after all my digital holdings to try to get me for, but he was on leave from his contract job, not on reserve duty in his personal capacity at the Ellipse. That means he was in DC. Let's find something on him.
How do you know that they were looking at your digital stuff? Like how do you, and
can I do a screen share?
You should be able to. Yeah,
I can. You want the evidence? I'll put it up right now.
Okay, so I can stop the share and I should be able to enable you. So if you click the share button, you should be able to share.
Let me find.
These are like stock receipts or something, or like the Apple company sent you a message saying like you're being investigated.
Yeah, let me share the screen.
Is it working?
Hold on. There it is. Share. You see it?
Yes, Apple. This notice being sent with a no reply.
Notice regarding request for customer data. No, this notice is being sent. Dear account holder, Apple received a legal request from the FBI requesting information regarding your Apple account. This legal request only allowed delayed notice to the affected customer. FBI, DC, legal request, subpoena, summons, this case number. And then they were able to, what my sources inside of the FBI tell me is that since I've been sent this, the case has been closed. But nonetheless, they were investigating me.
Yeah. Were you able to?
And they were investigating me without legal predicate. And that's where I am going to come after those. I'm not going to name the individuals that were involved yet. But let's just say I know every single one of them who was involved in investigating me. Because you investigate me, I investigate you. I play by the legal, moral, and ethical game that you illegally conduct on me.
Right. Well, I mean,
that's one example.
Okay, so that
I can bring up the Google one.
No, I mean that's sufficient. I mean that proves,
okay.
And this is helpful for an American citizen, because if they if they receive an email like this, then they would know. The one thing is, I don't even know if that would go that goes straight to my junk mail. I don't even know if I would even see that. But at least it gives us a strategy that if we think we might be being surveilled, we could look for those emails, I guess. Okay.
Let me wait. Since we're on this, let me see if I can find. They did this to my, I think, LinkedIn, my X, my Twitter, I mean, I think Jackie Boy Smith probably was looking in there.
And because you're a lawyer, were you able to look up like the case, or is it like it's like secret?
No, I mean, I'm gonna address